In life, there's really three guarantees: death, taxes, and Nvidia signing another multi-billion-dollar deal to supply hundreds of thousands of GPUs to an AI company. Now, this is the partnership that everybody has been waiting for, albeit not the first time we've seen Elon Musk buy from Jensen, Huang, and Nvidia, but this one marks a major turning point. What else could we want the God Squad, the unstoppable duo in Jensen Huang, CEO of Nvidia, and Elon Musk, CEO of Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, xAI, Twitter or X, and a few other companies. Today, we gotta talk about the implications of this deal that was just announced. xAI, in a private round of fundraising, Nvidia is investing $2 billion into xAI, and I guess what else would you expect that xAI is gonna buy hundreds of thousands of GPUs from Nvidia? A recurring theme we've seen over the past couple days, couple weeks. It seems like every day there's a new headline that Nvidia is investing into some company, and that same exact company is buying thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of AI chips worth anywhere between $60,000 and $70,000 a pop. So what does this all mean? What does it mean for Nvidia stock? Number one, I promise it's really, really good. What is Elon Musk up to in his Colossus 2, this mega data center, and why should you be paying attention to it? Well, again, we've talked about this now many times on this channel, but AI spending is holding up the entire world economy. So understanding this news, processing it, and evaluating the implications is so incredibly valuable to you, to me, to any investor in this market. Now, before we get into any of that, of course, we always have to build a little bit of context. And what better way to start than hearing this from Jensen Huang?
You know, if the only regret I have about xAI, we're an investor already. The only regret I have is I didn't give him more money. You know, almost everything that Elon's part of, you really want to be part of as well. And he gave us the opportunity to invest in xAI. I'm just delighted by that.
Jensen says anything that Elon Musk is involved in, you want to be involved in too. And we know about Elon. He has some grand goals for humanity. He wants to save Earth with his EV company. He wants to make humans a multiplanetary species, send us on rockets to Mars. He wants to cure depression, anxiety, paralysis. At this point, you name it, any massively plaguing problem in this world, and Elon probably has a company centered around solving that problem. And it's good because he has a lot of money. In fact, both of these guys do. Nvidia and Tesla have a decent track record of executional success, so this should come as no surprise that it was only a matter of time until they worked on a project like Colossus 2 that definitely alters the AI landscape as we see it today. And I promise, no, it doesn't have to do with an AI company making money. That hasn't happened yet, and that probably won't happen for some time. But just for perspective on how much money we're talking about between these two guys, Jensen Huang and Elon Musk, this is a chart of the countries of the world sorted by their GDP. Now, where do you think Nvidia and Tesla would sit if you added them both together? How big are these companies? Are they bigger than these countries by their GDP? Well, yeah, I mean, I guess it's a spoiler if I have top 4 countries up on my screen right now. Cap equivalent. Nvidia and Tesla combined is about 6 trillion. They would be the 3rd richest country by GDP in the entire world. This deal was with xAI. I understand, not Tesla, but we all know there's some vested interest here. At some point, Tesla's going to invest in xAI. It's just a matter of time. So I think you could say this has some implication on Tesla stock as well. And so what's the project that they're working on together? What exactly does Elon have up his sleeve this time? Well, before we get to what Elon is actually doing, we gotta address what Jensen Huang just mentioned. What is this investment that they're making? What is xAI getting out of it? Why are Jensen and Elon even involved in this in the first place? Well, I think you could probably have a good idea of where this is going, but Elon Musk's company, xAI, they don't make any money. You see, they burn about $1 billion per month right now. Remind you of anything? Maybe a company that rhymes with, I don't know, OpenAI. Yeah, you know, a lot of these AI software companies are losing a lot of money. xAI is no exception. But Sam Altman, he sees the potential. Elon Musk, he sees the potential. Clearly, there's something big here, and that's why they're going all in. xAI is raising roughly $20 billion, and it's a little complicated, but basically to just purchase Nvidia chips and then use those chips to provide AI compute and hopefully rent out that AI compute for profit. Yeah, at this point, we see this with about every single company out there. Buy as many Nvidia chips as you can and hope you can rent it out for a profit, right? We just saw it with Oracle, who's actually losing money on Nvidia GPUs right now. But anyways, to summarize the deal, we have 7 to 8 billion in new equity and as much as 12 billion in debt routed through a special purpose vehicle that will purchase Nvidia. Again, basically, they're just raising debt and equity to buy Nvidia chips. What else would you expect? Now, why in God's name would he need $20 billion? Well, I'm glad you asked, because this right here is Colossus One, the mega AI data center, actually the largest operational AI data center that exists in the world today, that will soon be passed by many, many other companies, but fully operational in Memphis, Tennessee, that currently has over 200,000 Nvidia GPUs. 200,000 chips. As you can imagine, Nvidia is very happy about this. That's a lot of money, especially when they're selling them at 60 to 70K per chip, right? Now, what's funny is that's actually the old one. You see, this thing right here, Colossus One, is as old as a dinosaur. Construction of this beast was finished about a year ago. Actually, September 2024. But this isn't big enough. This thing only has 300 megawatts of available compute. That is tiny. That's not enough. Remember, flashback to OpenAI and Nvidia's deal where we're talking about 10 gigawatts. Nvidia investing $10 billion into OpenAI for every 1 gigawatt that they deploy. This thing's only 30% of 1 gigawatt. This is 1/3 of 1/10 of what OpenAI hopes to do with their deal with Nvidia. And so that leads us to this next deal. Elon Musk knows this just isn't going to cut it. Colossus One is too tiny. There's not enough compute. And so he said, you know what? We need more Nvidia chips. Let's start constructing Colossus 2. Now, again, here's a bunch of specs that you don't really need to know. A lot of nerdy stuff going on here. But one of the things I really want you to pay attention to is this right here. Target of up to 1 million GPUs. I mean, this is just ridiculous. An initial batch of 550,000 starting August 2025. This is a ridiculous amount of chips. And the other thing is this power capacity line right here that we got to talk about, because this is absolutely absurd. This is where it really helps to be Elon Musk and own actually an energy deployment and storage company in Tesla. So this tiny thing over here, this is Colossus One. Colossus Two is probably being constructed right nearby, right over here. Colossus 2. And remember, Colossus 1, 300 megawatts. This guy right here is projected to be 1 gigawatt. About 800,000 homes. So yeah, you could power a city with the amount of power that's being used for this AI data center on its own. Now the question is, that's a ton of chips. We're talking about 550,000. But you know what? Nvidia's gonna find a way. They're gonna find a way to deliver on their promise, obviously, because it's literally billions of dollars of revenue. The real problem with Elon Musk's ambitions here with Colossus 2 is the power. This is a massive bottleneck. And actually, Elon Musk has been beefing a little bit with Tennessee Authority, because they say, you don't have the permits. You're going to mess up the power grid. And so that's where it helps to be Elon and Tesla. Thankfully, they actually have their own mega packs where they can store a lot of energy at scale. And if you notice in this picture, it looks like you almost have these long trucks right here. Now, these trucks aren't any ordinary truck. That's actually a voltagrid. These things are literally mobile power generators, 2.5 megawatts a piece. And now you may be thinking, 2.5 megawatts? This thing needs 1,000 megawatts. So we're certainly not going to want to rely on 400 mobile power generating trucks that he's currently renting or leasing. We need a more permanent solution, at least semi-permanent, not a power generation trailer home. And so never doubt Elon Musk and his ability to find a way around a problem. I guess that's what having $500 billion can do for you. Tennessee steps in and says, hey, Elon, there is no shot in hell we're going to allow you to take all this power. We need to provide power to, people with homes that need electricity. So you're going to have to find another way. And what better way to do that than purchasing a pre-built natural gas power plant from overseas and rebuilding it on site to produce all your own power. That way you're completely independent from the grid and don't have to worry about all the normal grid constraints. So yeah, that's exactly what Elon Elon Musk is going to do. They're going to build their own natural gas power plant. And you know what's even better? Any excess power that Elon Musk can find, whether it's from the grid, whether it's from alternative energy sources, whether it's from mobile power transformers, whatever it is, you can store it in the Tesla Megapack. I'm sure he gets a pretty hefty discount on these things. And so this is something that I covered in a lot of detail in a video called An AI Stock That Nobody Is Paying Attention To. And I still think it's severely overlooked. Right now, the bottleneck isn't necessarily the compute that every CEO is preaching, specifically Sam Altman, on television basically every day. AI is much more than just compute. It needs a lot of energy. To provide compute, you need energy. And that stock is vastly outperforming the market right now, by the way. And you can see right here, don't worry about the scale of this chart or the units. Just look at the trend of power dedicated to training AI models. It's growing at an exponential rate, and that's not gonna slow down anytime soon. Construction spending for data centers, well, yeah, not much to say here. Straight up as well. And so, yeah, the energy providers are going to win. There's a crazy bottleneck for power right now, but we all know who's going to benefit the most. And, well, yeah, it's Nvidia. Basically a monopoly on the AI data center GPU market. And so when two of these basically data center cities are built out that require anywhere between 550,000 and eventually 1 million GPUs that are selling for $60,000 to $70,000 a pop. Yeah, that's basically $70 billion in revenue from xAI alone. So yeah, Nvidia's revenue is literally going straight up. And if you don't have exposure to Nvidia, then it's really a problem because they basically own the entire chip market. And with Nvidia's next earnings report right around the corner, November 19th, we'll be looking at the financial results in August, September, and October. Well, you know what just started in August of 2025? Nvidia starting to ship out some of that 550,000 GPUs. So will Nvidia's earnings impress? Well, yeah, if they're able to even come close to meeting the demand that's out there, then I think it's pretty certain that their revenue is going to beat and they're going to raise their forecast, which usually ends up in a stock rally. Is anything guaranteed? Obviously not. Things could change. Margins could compress. Maybe AI demand isn't as great as it promised, but these 100 billion plus deals with companies like OpenAI, Oracle, CoreWeave are any indication, probably looking good for Nvidia in the short to medium to long to super long term. And you know it's looking really good for a company when other companies start to brag about how many chips they have and how ahead they are with the Nvidia GPU infrastructure build out. Microsoft CEO literally posted a video bragging about how many Nvidia GPUs they have in their latest and greatest AI dedicated data center. So what's the conclusion? Well, Nvidia is going to make a ton of money from xAI. xAI doesn't have the money to buy $700 billion worth of Nvidia chips, so they can go straight to Nvidia, ask for some money, and then use that money to, buy more chips. I think the biggest takeaway from this is that demand certainly isn't the problem for Nvidia. Pricing certainly isn't the problem either, because even if a company like xAI that's literally burning $1 billion per month, even if they can find a way to get people to buy into the AI theme, they'll use all that money, every single freaking penny they can find on Nvidia chips to build out that AI compute, which in the long run will hopefully generate enough revenue to offset these massive losses that they're incurring in the short term. Now, as we move along here, it seems that these deals just continue to get a little more convoluted, a little more creative each and every time. I mean, we literally just saw in the video I released yesterday about the AMD deal that Jensen Huang himself is a little perplexed by some of the deals that are going on out there, calling them interesting, creative, imaginative. Obviously, that was more taking a shot at AMD and their strategy, how they're basically selling some of their company because they're desperate to get back into the race. But we won't go into that. Please watch that video if you're interested and want to learn more about the AMD shenanigans going on. But basically, half is new equity, a lot of it's debt that's routed through a special purpose vehicle. Who even cares at this point? It's just insane how much money is flowing around in this industry right now. And let's be honest, literally the only way you can guarantee exposure, I should say winning exposure in this environment, is Nvidia. It's literally the only pure AI play. I mean, I would say OpenAI because they're probably the software company that has the best relationship with Nvidia, and if you have a good relationship with Nvidia, you're pretty much guaranteed to succeed at this point. But again, OpenAI is still not public, a $500 billion private company. So yeah, it's Nvidia. They're the only pure play out there. Now, obviously, Nvidia doesn't have as much upside as some of these other companies might, like CoreWeave, like Oracle, some of the other smaller AI data center pure plays like NBIS, Iron, Applied Digital. But at the end of the day, you need some exposure to this industry because that's what's driving all the GDP growth in today's day and age in the United States right now. It's not people spending their hard-earned money. It's companies spending billions of dollars up the wazoo on AI capital expenditures. Now, let me know, are you excited to see two of probably, I mean, I don't even know if it's probably definitely the most innovative minds to have graced this planet in the last 100 years? Are you excited to see them tag up and, as Jensen suggested, be involved in the future together in some way? I feel like that's exciting for the tech space overall. And what do you think about the AI bubble? Are you exposed to anything? Are you exposed to Nvidia, AMD, data centers like Oracle, maybe the small ones like Iron? I want to hear what the sentiment is like out there. Are we positive? Are we negative? Are we not touching this market until the AI bubble pops, which at this rate could be a very long time? Let me know how you guys are doing. I appreciate you listening. I guess I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.